It's June 2nd, 2026. It's noon. It's 74 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 degrees Celsius, and I'm going for a walk. George Burns forever. Excuse me. I'm walking to the UPS store. Got a box. Some hidden books. Chicken dent. The glasses are still here. See, if you put your fence beams at an angle like this, so that the point is at the top, then people can't sit on your fence. The fire hydrant out of service, and that thing, cones, nailed the parking. Nailed it. You know that thing where you forgot what you were gonna say and then someone says, well, if it was important, you'll remember. Does that apply to all memories? Have you ever seen a roundhouse before? Best thing about living in a round house, no dust in the corners. And that, folks, is a joke I learned on the Donnie and Marie Osmond show, when it was said by Paul Lynn, referring to a lighthouse. Taking a shortcut through an industrial zone. The country is covered with these little industrial parks, where you find little pockets of shade, tiny bit of nature, and sad people eat lunch in them. I'm not going through that pathway, it's too tight. Ticks. Lots of times you'll find that chain link fences don't go all the way and you can walk through. And then you walk past these bushes, you come to this parking lot, and there's the UPS store. Okay, the package is all dropped off. I feel like I'm missing something now. So many cones. Yes. That's right, yes, it's time to get lunch. Lights on a signpost. There are circles in the ground. Welcome to Summer on Strong. Speed limit 5 miles per hour. Gather together on Strong. Meet me on Strong all summer long. Live music on Strong all summer long. Okay, so I got lunch, and here's a little thing that happened, and kind of an interesting thing to think about. As I approached the establishment, which is a sort of like a luncheonette cafe, I arrived at the door about, oh, look at this little tiny bunny. You see how teeny that is? Okay, I'm leaving. Anyway, as I approached the door, I got to the door about 1 second before some other people that were going in. We came at the door from different angles. So I held the door open for them, and 4 of them, and they walked in, and they got in line in front of me at the counter. So there was one person who was already ordering, and then the 4 of them were kind of hanging back and looking up past the counter, up at the menu, trying to decide what to get. They had never been there before. And then it was that person who was at the counter finished ordering, and it was their turn, and the woman behind the counter said, "Are y'all set?" And they said, "Yeah." And then they walked up to the register and they ordered. And it took a really long time, but that's not surprising since they had never been there before. I've been there many, many times, so it only takes me a second to order. So they ordered and then I ordered. Fine. So it could have gone two ways, right? They could have, once we got inside after I held the door open, they could have motioned for me to go ahead in front of them because I'm just one person and they're four, and because I was at the door before them, and because they've never been there before, so probably they knew it might take them a little while to order, and maybe they even want a little time to sit and look at the menu. Or it could have gone like it did, where I held open the door and then they just went in and ordered, and then I lost a few minutes. They could have done that thing that you do at the grocery store when you've got like a full cart and then there's someone else approaching the line who has like 2 items. But here's the interesting thing to think about, I think, which is that the way things went down was like totally fine. There's nothing for me to complain about. It's just a tiny bit frustrating that it didn't go the other way. But if it had gone the other way, it would have been like they were being exceptionally considerate. It's sort of like there's no middle ground to that situation. It's either it was a little bit annoying, or it would have been extra nice. Like there's nowhere, you know what I mean? I'm gonna walk across this metal plate. Who knows what's underneath me? I guess another way of saying it is that I was a little bit surprised at how it went down, but I would have been just as, or maybe more surprised if it didn't go that way. So what, I'm surprised either way? I guess the one sort of middle ground could have been if they had offered to let me go ahead of them and then I had demurred and said, no, go ahead. But what is it? What is that? Theater? I do like the theater. I can tell you one thing. If it had been the man in the snows of Kilimanjaro, it would have gone down a whole different way. There would have been some words, then probably a fist fight in the alley, maybe a stabbing. Okay, thanks.